Should Ron have been a Hufflepuff? These Harry Potter characters were sorted wrong. Ah, the sorting hat. One of the very few sentient objects in the franchise and one of the most important for budding young witches and wizards when they first get to Hogwarts. The sorting hat is said to see into your head and sort you according to what it sees into one of the 4 Hogwarts houses. Gryffindor, where dwell the brave of heart. Hufflepuff, where belong those that are just and loyal. Ravenclaws possess wit and learning, while Slytherins are ambitious and cunning. Sometimes the hat takes a long time to decide, which is called a hat stall, a situation in which the sorting hat takes more than 5 minutes to make a decision. To name those hat stalls known to us, Minerva McGonagall, where the hat hesitated between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw, and Peter Pettigrew, where the hat deliberated between Gryffindor and Slytherin. We like to think that McGonagall was so full of potential that it was hard to see where she would excel the most, and that Wormtail just had so little of any redeeming quality that it was equally hard to know where he should be. More common are close stalls like Hermione, Gryffindor versus Ravenclaw, Neville, who was fighting the hat's decision to sort him in Gryffindor and insisted he is better suited to Hufflepuff. The hat can also be very swift, as in the case of Draco Malfoy. The hat barely brushed the brim of his head before it decided on Slytherin. The sorting hat is known for refusing to admit ever making a mistake in its sorting of a student. On those occasions when Gryffindors behaved cowardly or Slytherins acted selflessly, the hat always stood by its original decision. Well, let us have a closer look at some of those, let's say, controversial sortings. A man with a love of lilac, memory charms, and of course himself. We love him and we hate him, but there can be no question that he was one of the best casting choices in the Harry Potter series, with of course speaking of the 5-time winner of the Witch Weekly Most Charming Smile Award, Professor Gilderoy Lockhart. Lockhart was sorted into Ravenclaw, which houses the brainiest students, but did he really belong? In the Chamber of Secrets we do not see much of a striking intellect, rather an inflated ego and incompetence in spellcasting. That is well demonstrated in the first ever Defense Against Dark Arts class, when he proves unable to manage escaped pixies.
Let's see what you make of them. No! Come on now, round them up, there any pixies?
Hermione, a second-year student at that time, managed to get them under control.
Immobulus!
Another example of Lockhart's poor spell work is the dueling club that he starts and gets badly beaten by Professor Snape.
One, 2, 3.
Expelliarmus!
Then, instead of vanishing the snake Malfoy has conjured to fight Harry, he blasts it in the air and angers it.
Don't move, Potter. I'll get rid of it for you.
Allow me, Professor Snape. Volate ascendere!
Surely this is the kind of thing they scream for during Hogwarts interviews. But then again, Professor Quirrell was able to join the teaching staff, and he had a giant secret hiding under his turban. Perhaps the interview process needed its own sorting hat, because there really were a lot of questionable teachers at Hogwarts. Maybe that's something for another video. Professor Lockhart's overconfidence seems to know no bounds. When Harry's arm gets broken by a rogue bludger during a Quidditch match, Lockhart insists he can mend it, but instead ends up vanishing Harry's bones altogether.
Brachiam. Emendo.
There is, however, one area of magic that Lockhart excels in: memory charms. It turns out that all his success is due to his ability to seek actual heroes, interrogate them, steal their memories of said heroism as well as the credit for it. And if this is not cunning, then I don't know what is. So there's a pretty strong argument that he should really have been sorted into Slytherin, as the only time he displays any wit is to serve his own ends. You might be shocked by the inclusion of one of the Golden Trio, and it is not Hermione or Harry for that matter who did give the Sorting Hat a bit of a hard time. We're talking, of course, about Ronald Weasley. Ron was sorted into Gryffindor like all of his brothers and both parents. Those things often do run in families, but not always. You all remember Sirius Black, right? Don't get us wrong, no one can say that Ron is not brave, although he is much more so in the books than the movies, which make him look somewhat of a buffoon. But is bravery really his strongest quality?
Which Hagrid kept me. The girl was discovered in a bathroom. When I was accused, Hagrid brought me here.
Harry?
What?
Ron is Harry's best friend in the world and loyal to a fault. He basically becomes Harry's brother and family almost immediately and never wavers in his resolve. Except maybe a little during the Tri-Wizard tournament, but even then when he was mad at Harry, he still had his back by getting him that message about the dragons. Or was that Seamus? Or Dean? Or Parvati? I mean, he repeatedly puts himself in danger to be at Harry's side. He doesn't hesitate to sacrifice himself for his friends. Remember McGonagall's chess match?
The Queen will take me. Then you're free to check the King.
No. Ron, no!
What is it?
He's going to sacrifice himself.
No, you can't! There must be
He
another
loves
way.
and always defends his family. Now, those traits would actually make him a good candidate for Hufflepuff. I know Hufflepuff gets a bad reputation for not really having the most capable or smart or brave students. Generally, people think of them as the students that love to be chilled out and enjoy eating. And although that is a bit reductive, it still does fit Ron's character too. The head of Slytherin House is one complicated character. We all loved to hate him until the very end when his secrets were revealed and we learned that he wasn't the bad guy we thought after all. That is not to say he wasn't a terrible teacher that bullied his students and unfairly favored his own house every opportunity he got. I mean, in his first ever interaction with Harry, he got angry with him for literally just taking notes.
I don't know, sir.
Pity. Clearly, fame isn't everything, is it, Mr. Potter?
Clearly, Hermione knows. Seems a pity not to ask her.
In the end, however, he played a crucial role in defeating Voldemort. He has completely changed his ways, turned a spy for Dumbledore in order to protect Harry, whom he very much disliked, all in the name of love. And as much as being a double agent requires cunning, he acted incredibly bravely and altruistically. It was incredibly dangerous to spy on and lie to Voldemort, the most accomplished legilimens. That is not at all in line with the Slytherin House qualities. The opposite, really, so should Snape have been a Gryffindor? Albus Dumbledore thought so when he told Snape, "You know, I sometimes think we sought too soon." And we must agree. Could all his evil behavior be just bitterness from a very broken heart? And could his bravery in the name of love be his most redeemable quality? As they often say in the series, love is the most powerful magic of all. As mentioned earlier, Peter Pettigrew, also known as Wormtail, is one of very few known hat stalls. In his case, the hat hesitated for more than 5 minutes between Gryffindor and Slytherin. We all know that Gryffindor was a terrible choice. This rat man is anything but brave. Nearly everything he did was motivated by fear and cowardice. Even during his Hogwarts years, he sought more talented and powerful wizards than himself for protection. Perhaps the most cowardly action is the betrayal of Lily and James Potter to Voldemort. How he ever became one of their closest friends, a marauder and an animagus, is quite frankly miraculous. Or was it quite frankly cunning? Should the hat then sort him to Slytherin? Let's see. Slytherins are resourceful and cunning. After Voldemort's downfall, Pettigrew faked his own death while managing to frame another one of his friends, Sirius Black. Then he hid disguised as a pet rat for 12 years. I would say that's quite definitely resourceful and cunning. And that's all we have for you today. What do you think? Did this list make you stall, or was it something you were already thinking about? Remember to like and subscribe to keep up with us and all the Potter content we will be putting out. Stay magical, and as always, mischief managed.